Good morning. We are so glad you are here with us. Let's rise in body or in spirit and join together in singing Wake Now My Senses. Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in awe. Keep with the web of creation your vow, giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now my conscience, with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. Our love embraces the whole human race. For the earth forever turning, for the skies, for every sea, for our lives, for all we cherish, sing we our joyful song of peace. For the mountains, rills, and pastures in their silent majesty. For the stars, for all the heavens, sing we our joyful song of peace. For the sun, for rain and thunder, for the seasons' harmony, for our lives, for all creation, sing we our joyful praise to thee. For the world we raise our voices, for the home that gives us birth. In our joy we sing, returning home to our blue-green hills of earth.
Good morning. It is so good to be together. I am Reverend Taryn Strauss, Senior Minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, where we are transforming lives through courageous action and soulful connection. It is happening. So much is happening right now. And I know some of us are feeling tired, exhausted, maybe besieged as well. Anybody? And I know some of us are wondering if the anti-Semitism that pervades this world and our nation will ever end, well, I am here to tell you that it ends at those doors. This is a house that love built. And others among us are wondering if there will ever be queer spaces where people can live our full gender expression or kiss or dance with our partners without fear of horrific violence and trauma. And I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that anti-gay, lesbian, bisexual, anti-transgender violence ends at those doors because this is a house that love built, my friends. This is a house that love built. And by the way, I want to let you know that the gathering of Interweave, the gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender group of Unitarian Universalists, will be meeting today, I think upstairs at 12:30 p.m. And I know some of us are wondering and hoping this is a house of worship that can truly welcome those among us who are Black, who are in a racial minority in this space. And we say yes, because there is no room for bigotry or racism here in this house that love built. Amen?
Amen.
Same goes for if you are older, if you are young, if you have spent your entire night here and you're very sleepy this morning. I know our coming of age folks had a lock-in here last night, and we welcome you however you are into this worship. You are all welcome, and more than that, you are cherished here on this place, on land that was first cultivated by the Muskogee Creek indigenous Americans and kept for generations, this land where we now make our faith home and honor those first people. Now, we have spent the last few months exploring our senses as a pathway to spiritual connection in our Wake Now My Senses worship theme. And today we will engage with our sense of smell. This can be a little bit fraught, as some of us may have sensitivities or allergies that prevent us from smelling too many things. For that reason, we are talking about scent, but we are not really experiencing much of it here, unless you are watching from home, and you may have a unique opportunity this morning to go ahead and light a candle or create a sensual experience during this worship service. So we welcome you to this worship as well. And we just invite everyone into this topic, no matter your relationship with this sense, and encourage you to consider other paths to a more focused spiritual practice that engages one of the senses. We invite you to seek meaning wherever you find it. I want you to know that for those who are excited about greening our social hall for the very first time ever, we have the chance to green, that is, bring some Yule into our social hall. So there will be a small group of folks gathering. Well, at the moment, it's a very small group of folks gathering tomorrow at 11 o'clock, that's Monday, in the social hall to green the social hall. So they are interested in maybe having a few more folks, like more than 2. Would be great. So if you are free tomorrow at 11, please do join for some fun, festive decorating of our social hall. We would love to have you tomorrow at 11 a.m. And we hope that each of you and your families will join us on Thursday for the Moravian Love Feast, an evening special holiday music event taking place this Thursday right here. There are fewer than 100 seats left for this holiday event, and we want to make sure you are all able to join us for this gorgeous celebration and unique celebration of the holiday season. So please be sure to register this afternoon after the service. It is so amazing to be joined in leading worship with our music director, Donald Milton III, our director of religious education, Laura Beth Brown, our lay minister, Camille Cassingham, and the always fabulous violinist, Mark Williams. We are so grateful you are here this morning, and at this time I would love to invite Andrea Barra, leader on the adult religious education team, to light our chalice this morning. Let us say the chalice lighting words together. May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace. And on this second Sunday of Advent, as Christians prepare to celebrate Jesus' arrival as a gift to all humanity, let us stir up in our hearts and in our homes a sense of anticipation. Over this Advent, we pray that the second candle of Advent, representing peace, will inspire a practice of meditative stillness. This can be a time to make room in the heart and in the mind for peace, for calm, for softness amidst the harsh and warring world. May we honor the peace of Advent.
So, I have a little box this morning. We're going to call it our Wonder Box because we are going to wonder what is inside of it. So, I wonder, what could be in our box this morning? Any guesses? Something illegal. Probably not, but that's coming from one of our COA youth who didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. I'll give you a hint. The items contained in the box are all smelly.
Frankincense and myrrh.
Incense. What else? Spices. Candles. Dirty socks. Oh gosh, I hope not. Okay, well, let's find out, shall we? Let's see what's in the box. We have a number of items, and the first item is Dove soap, specifically. So we are exploring scent memory, and Dove soap is a strong memory trigger for me. Every time I smell Dove soap, I immediately am transported back to my carefree childhood summers, visiting my grandmother at her house in Toledo Bend, which is in the Lake region of East Texas. And Dove soap was her favorite, so it was found in both bathtubs as well as at every sink. And I remember taking long baths after a full day of playing in the woods, and then going to sleep with the scent of Dove still on me. So let's see what else we have in here. We have some perfume. Yes, are there certain perfumes that bring back memories for any of you? Yeah, any certain ones? I am gonna invite Ona Paliza up here to come to the chancel because she and I had a conversation just about this, how a specific perfume reminds her of someone. So what is that specific perfume, Ona?
Chanel number 5.
Chanel number 5, yeah. And who does Chanel number 5 remind you of?
My grandmother.
Yeah, your grandmother. And so what are some special things about your grandmother?
You always feel welcome, and she's very loving, and you feel very safe, and she cooks. She cooks.
Indeed. So Chanel number 5 is a very positive scent memory for you.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, yes, we can give. Now, we still have a few more items in here. Baby shampoo. Baby shampoo. So how about baby shampoo? Anyone memories here? I'm seeing Jill Pohl. So this is actually Jill Pohl's bottle of baby shampoo. So I'm going to invite her up here to talk about that.
Well, I couldn't bring my favorite smell, which is the San Diego beach. So, but my kids use this, and all babies smell good, and you want to hang on to the smell. And so when I couldn't find it in the stores, I ended up buying a case of it online. And then my kids were getting kind of older, and I convinced one of them that baby fine hair is what the baby referred to, and he used it all the way into middle school. But I still had a bottle left when he quit, and I never got rid of it because I really like the smell. But I am ready to part with it. If there's a new parent who is ready for this shampoo, I'm ready to part with it.
Thank you. So you can find Jill for that baby shampoo. And we have one more smelly thing. Oh, and this is really smelly. Incense. Anyone? Anybody have memories around incense? I'm going to invite Claire Costello up here. Yes, to share about her memory of incense.
So incense, the smell of incense always reminds me of this time of year specifically. I was raised in Massachusetts, and so this time of year is extremely dark. But we would always go to midnight mass on Christmas Eve. And the priest would walk down the aisles of the church with this huge swinging thing of incense. Mm-hmm. And even though it always stung my eyes, it was such a unique smell that now when I smell it, I think of a warm room with so many lights in a really dark time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So all of these were positive memories, and I caught some tears in eyes as they were talking about it. And I know I get emotional when I smell Dove soap and think about my grandmother, and I wonder if that happens to you too when you experience scent memories. You know, there's actually a scientific reason for that, and Reverend Taryn is going to explore that with us in just a bit. But for right now, I am going to invite members of the Adult Religious Education team to come up to the chancel and join me in our movement prayer. So please rise in body or spirit and join us. And if you can just spread yourselves out along the lip there. Perfect. Yes. Okay, first, we bow to honor the Spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of Spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present, honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present. Thank you. So at this time, we would like to invite our children, third grade and under, to exit and join preschool or their creative workshop for this morning. And please note that the kindergarten through third graders will be upstairs in room 220. And as our children recess, please take this opportunity to greet your neighbor.
Mother, you will persist in fragrances, the nectar scent of carrots, pineapple, pecans, baking in a 2-layer cake. I will shorten my mornings into hours of praise. More than alchemy, fresh cilantro in pungent handfuls will be sautéed with garlic, onions, tomato. And like magic, beans will turn into savories in my ordinary kitchen. And the aroma of lilies will not be resisted. I will plant tigers, stars, Easters, kanas, kalas. The rain on their talcum will conjure you, your skin this satiny scent. Here on the porch swing, just after a bath, I will sprinkle lily petals on my pond, dip my hand in this holy water, rub your silk into my fingers. But it is the tang of the sea that will return your salt to soothe my wound. Here in this watery womb of the earth, this place you love only from a distance since you never learned to swim. Here, I will stop holding my breath, inhale the sting.
Let us put hands upon hearts, feel the heartbeat, connection to life. Breathe in peace. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself. I will love others. And that love can heal this world. You are invited to speak the name of someone you are holding in your heart this morning. Someone who could use some extra loving energy, healing energy coming their way today. Please write their name into the live chat or speak their name into this holy space now. May all beings find connection. May all people find comfort. May all of us find more ways to be more loving. Spirit of life, love, eternal, we rest in holy gratitude. We surrender to a mystery beyond ourselves, asking forgiveness for our mistakes. Those times we have been selfish or thoughtless, breathing in and out, we offer grace. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. Breathing in, we honor the earth that supports and sustains life. We open our hearts to wonder for just one moment. We feel a deep connection with all beings. Now let us calm our bodies, rest our minds. We breathe in peace and we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the silence.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Good morning. I'm Camille Cassingham, a lay minister here at UUCA. When pondering today's worship theme of scent and memory, I immediately thought of my early childhood here at UUCA. I recall the vibrant colors and sounds and, yes, even smells of my early days in the community, particularly the smell of a candle that has just been blown out. In one of my religious education classes, we had a tradition. Every Sunday, at the beginning of class, we would sit in a circle on the floor and light our little chalice, 2 small terracotta planters hot glued together. You guys know what I'm talking about. With a tea light placed in the middle. And at the end of class, we would all grasp hands and blow it out together. 1, 2, 3. One of our religious education teachers told us that holding hands with fingers intertwined was powerful because the spaces in between our fingers are some of the most delicate parts of the body, and our fingers are some of the strongest. They explained that when we hold hands like this, it's like we're embracing each other's strengths and weaknesses. To this day, every time a chalice is extinguished and the smell of its smoke wafts towards me, I think about this community that has embraced me so strongly and so delicately at the same time, and the opportunities that I've had to similarly embrace others. This is one of the many reasons why I give to UUCA and encourage others to do the same. This morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Now I'm going to speak improvisationally about Mark playing improvisationally. Because that is what we do here. We explore and we improvise. I mean, I know there's a worship script and you know there's one, but like lots of things happen that are outside of the script, just like life. And this is what we are here to make meaning out of. And UUCA is doing it all the time. On Friday, I went to the Winter Art Party, the first of our celebration evenings celebrating the arts at UUCA, and I encountered our artist in residency program that I haven't even known what they've been doing all of these past few weeks and I think months. Citizens Advocacy, a group, a social justice partner of ours, has been using the room upstairs during the week to help the people who work with them, people who are disabled or living on the margins of our community in Atlanta, to help them make art through storytelling. And so you can see some of that art now displayed on the wall, the first floor gallery of the Pilgrim Gallery. So please check that out after the service, and you can see how that's the storytelling and the art has all been improvised to help someone make meaning and deepen understanding of their own lives and to deepen a connection with that which Spirit is sort of calling us to all the time, to find new ways to connect through scent and memory, through art, through beautiful music. So for the opportunity to do that each and every Sunday and beyond Sunday, we are deeply blessed and grateful. So blessings upon this place that helps us improvise through our lives, and blessings on your gift that makes it all possible. Please join me in this morning's dedication of the offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. Amen. This is the time of year when we create a world within a world. I mean, this truly is magic in the pagan sense. When the world offers the long night, heavy shadows, gray days, we respond by stringing lights or kindling candles of hope, building fires in the fireplace, creating a little sphere of influence in our homes, establishing a circle of comfort like a halo, covering all it touches with twinkling sweetness and glowing warmth. When the world offers us political anxiety and the urgency of perpetual crisis, something we are surely feeling this week in Georgia with so many eyes upon us, and I do hope you all will vote, or you already have. But when that happens, we often find ourselves a little less tolerant this time of year. We create more quiet. We turn off the noise, or cover the talking heads with jingle bells, or Christmas carols, or Hanukkah songs of memory and merriment, drowning out the din with the sound of the heart's desire. When the atmosphere is drizzly or becomes bitingly cold, we bring out the old Christmas sweaters, like the one Kay Johnson was wearing the other night. That's right, one never knows when they're going to end up in a sermon. Kay? Today it's you. It was a gift from her mother-in-law. Or I know it's finally winter when my dad brings out one of the old moth-eaten wool sweaters his mom made for him over 40 years ago, one of the only heirlooms we have left that were evidence of her creative persistence. Or when my son begins to walk around in soft socks and fuzzy slippers, grinning at the cozy feeling of his toes encased in a fuzzy embrace, noticing how well his feet slide this way and that way on the hardwood floors when he's wearing his cozy socks. And when the air is crisp and also void of scent, with nothing blossoming nor blooming, when we are faced with the dying light and the falling leaves, We immerse ourselves in a scent of our choosing. Perhaps we put on a simmer pot on the stove, just some water with clove, cinnamon stick, orange peel, a little allspice. Maybe, does anybody do that? I do it every year. Or maybe we bring some evergreen into our homes and spread its crackling, fresh scent around the house. We can activate our senses to establish a private world within the larger one, a world of comfort or calm, calling forth whatever we need to get us through. The truth is, scent can be a powerful source of healing. Literally, you can find relief from a stress response or an anxiety response in the shelter of a healing scent. I have lived this truth, and I will share it with you today. Some of you may know I had a difficult and death-defying birth experience. There was a serious possibility that either I or one of my twin children would not survive the birth. I will spare you most of the gory details of that weekend, those 48 hours really of uncertainty, but for one. While I was in the recovery room, a horrible place to be, if anyone has been there, you know what I'm talking about. But while I was in the recovery room after the birth, I experienced a very severe blood clot. A team of doctors and nurses rushed in, and the treatment for this is rather grisly, so I won't describe it, except to say that I was fully awake and alert to all of it and everything that was going on. And right before they were about to perform the procedure that would hopefully release the clot, a nurse came around behind me, put her finger in a tiny bottle of lavender oil, and swiped her finger across my collarbone. She stood behind my head and whispered one word, "Inhale," she said. And as I did so, I was enveloped by lavender. I was transported to a field I had visited once in California on a long bike tour through vineyards. Or I was suddenly somewhere else. I was in a spa cavern in Asheville, spending the day chatting with friends in the saunas. It was only an instant, just the expanse of a single inhale. But the bright hospital lights above me disappeared. The doctors and their chatter whooshed away, and I was not just anywhere, but somewhere specifically healing, somewhere specifically calming, somewhere I had once felt nurtured and loved. It was an act of love by that nurse, one to get me through that one little moment so that I could survive it and make it to the next one and the one after that. It was the scent that saved me. Now then, this nurse didn't know me. She didn't know if my sense of smell was acute enough to receive what she was offering, but her act of kindness was simply that, an offering. A small act of compassion was an enormous catalyst for healing. The truth is, that scent got me through that moment and through the next 20 hours that followed it while I was in the recovery room, hours spent without my babies, with the scent of lavender still on my skin, continually calming my anxious heart. This is one of the healing powers of scent. We can create an intentional private world within the larger world of pain or trauma. A month or so ago, I spent an evening with about a dozen UUCA members and Jonte Marcel, who is the owner of Lit Essentials, an essential oil company in Atlanta. He began the evening by asking us all each to write down an emotional intention, a state of mind we wanted to cultivate, or a larger hope for ourselves. Then Jante taught us all about oil extraction and how many pounds or sometimes tons of petals or parts of a plant must be squeezed or juiced in order to extract and harness the full power of its scent. And they do this responsibly at Lit Essentials, making sure replanting is also happening. And then we began experimenting with the different notes of the oils. We needed a base note, then a middle note, and a top note. And it is true that smelling essential oils requires depth, like any wholehearted spiritual practice. You try to sink deeper and deeper into the essence. Diane Ackerman, in her seminal book, A Natural History of the Senses, writes about how our sense of smell can be extraordinarily precise, yet impossible to describe. Smell is the sense without words. Lacking a vocabulary, we are left tongue-tied, groping for words in a sea of inarticulate pleasure and exaltation or something else. While the links between memory and scent are close to one another in the brain, and swift, the physiological link between scent and language are pitifully weak. When we see something, we can describe it in gushing detail, in a cascade of images and adjectives. We have so many visual adjectives in our arsenal: bright, minuscule, rough, blue, and so on. But who can map the features of a smell? When we use terms like smoky, sulfurous, sweet, floral, we are describing smells in terms of other things, like smoke, sulfur, sugar, and flowers. Something smells, instead, we tend to describe how smells make us feel. Something smells disgusting or intoxicating, sickening, delightful, revolting. These are feelings from Ackerman. I came away from the Essential Oils workshop that evening with a scent that I had named Awake and Calm. And yes, it did include lavender. This was a mindset that I had described when I was setting my intention. Now, of course, those words do not describe scents at all. They are an emotional state of being. But whenever someone smells my signature scent that I created that day in the workshop, they ask what the scent is called, and when I tell them, they say, "Oh yes, I smell this. I suddenly feel both awake and calm." But that's the trick, isn't it? To use scent to establish a mood or to set an intention. Like the way pagans will often cast a circle, or the way lamplight casts a halo upon the ground. It's a sphere of influence. It's one where you take responsibility and power for one's own space that you inhabit and proclaim it as your own little world. When you get near to someone with a strong scent, well, then you become a part of that little world. Mysterious or cloying or simply memorable. This is also how we retain pieces of people who we have loved and people we have lost. It can be challenging to recall the details of a conversation you had years ago with somebody who passed away, but it is much easier to remember the smell of that person whenever they entered your presence. See, our brains are hardwired to keep the connection between scent and memory close together. Those departments that cover the portions of scent and memory are located extremely near to each other in the brain. So when the olfactory bulb detects something, either during eating or during an emotional encounter or a stroll through the park, it signals the cerebral cortex and sends a message directly to the limbic system. The limbic system, that intensely emotional section of our brain in which we feel and we invent. Unlike other senses, smell needs no interpreter. The effect is immediate and undiluted by language, thought, or translation. A smell can be overpoweringly nostalgic because it triggers powerful images and emotions before we even have time to edit them. What you see and what you hear may fade into the compost heap of short-term memories. But as Edwin T. Morris points out in the essay Fragrance, there is almost no short-term memory with odors. It's all long-term. So without even realizing it, like an olfactory Ouija board, we are often conjuring the dead with the scents we create or the scents we long for at the holidays. Maybe you don't spend the holidays with your mother anymore because she has died or she lives far away. But if you bake her carrot cake recipe, when your home fills with that scent, if you close your eyes, it is like she is right there with you. I suppose that's why every year at my house we make my grandmother's butter cookie recipe. She wrote it in blue pen on a note card that my mother still has in tight cursive, and it's so smudged we can hardly read it anymore, but it's not hard to remember. My grandmother never liked complicated recipes. When the cookie dough bakes, I am transported instantly back to her house at Christmas. The twinkling lights and tinkling bells and her huge bell collection. Her smile and her face right in front of me, clear as day. This is one unique way we can honor the dead. Mysteriously, we often do it without knowing it is underneath our consciousness at times, like the deeper note of a scent. Without thinking about it too hard, we make those same recipes year after year, or we wear maybe our father's old robe. There are certain scents that retain relevance across time, across culture even. The smell of eucalyptus can take me back to sick days spent at home when I could finally relax and feel some prolonged comfort, time apart from my siblings or schoolwork. But not without a chest full of Vicks Vapor Rub, which my mom would apply and reapply throughout the day. Sometimes I think that was the only treatment. And I think that because I do the same thing at times with my own children now. Or I walk on a busy street and smell pipe smoke, and instantly I'm back at the foot of my grandfather's big armchair, waiting to open Christmas presents one by one. Most metallic smells I encounter return me to my childhood playground and those fleeting feelings of freedom and connection I found there. And of course, not all scents are happy or delicious. A certain brand of shampoo can catapult me back to a particularly traumatic relationship from my young adolescence. If we take some time to attend to the olfactory possibilities, we can be intentional about the memories we want to conjure. We can return the people we love and the memories we shared back to the present moment. This is good news for us. Because when the world is too much, we can find solace and sanctuary in the scent that lifts our spirits or calms us down. And as we've been sharing poetry this morning and stories about scent and memory, I know some scents have been lurking around in your own brain. And so I want to invite you into a meditation now. If you'll just close your eyes, it won't be long. Keep your feet grounded on the floor. I invite you to close your eyes. You don't have to, but you can if it helps. Keep your feet grounded on the floor. Notice where you are holding tension in your body, maybe your shoulders. Just notice that. Squeeze your shoulders together. Release. Allow your breath to drift gently in and out. Make sure you're holding your arms and hands as comfortably as you can. Don't think too much about your breath. Just let it enter your body, flow through it, and out. Sink a little more deeply into the breath. Recall a time when you felt completely nurtured, completely comfortable, cared for, loved. Wherever you are fully at ease. You are held. Breathe in, and as you do, try to recall a specific sight from that memory. The exact color of the room or someone's shirt. Exhale. On your next breath, welcome the sound of that moment in time. Was there music playing or someone's voice? On the next breath in, try to access the scent of that moment. What did it smell like? Was there perfume or an aftershave present? Was there a fireplace or a candle or the salty sea air? Just hold on to that scent. Breathe it in fully. Remember the feeling of being there, the softness of sand or clothing or whatever material you encountered. Breathe in again and allow the feeling of complete comfort to envelop you now. Settle in to the memory, recalling as much as you can. You are fully nurtured. You are fully at ease. You are safe. When you have taken hold of the scent of that comforting moment, keep it close to you. Try and hold on. I invite you to deepen your breath and return slowly, gently back to this moment. Feel your feet on the floor once again. Breathe in deeply and try and hold on to the scent of comfort that you have had access to, and you can have it again. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. If you have grasped hold of a scent of comfort, of nurturing, I invite you to bring it into your life as a pathway back to that feeling of utter ease, of peace. This is how we can harness the power of our sense of smell, as so many do during the season of Yule. Use it like magic to create private worlds of healing and to conjure small landscapes of peace. Blessed be. Amen.
together, Blue Boat Home. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the light of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat.
This is a time for conjuring the spirit of the holiday. You may not have control over the whole wide world, but you have some control over your world. So create the world of your choosing by exploring your relationship with scent and with memory or any of the other senses we have discussed in this series. May this empowering conjuring bless your winter days. And may you bless others as you go. Go in peace.
I give thanks to the waves upholding me. Hail the great winds urging me on. Meet the infinite sea before me. Sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon